Well, hello friends, Mark here once again with another edition of LaFLovesLocal, and it is an absolute honor to be here today with Mark and Angela, the owners of Saunders Farm. This is a little gem, a little hidden secret for some new people to Ottawa. Tell me a little bit about how this started.
Well, I grew up on the farm. My parents bought it in 1976, so 48 years ago now.
You're the Olympics.
Yeah, and we bought it, and it was a strawberry farm. We started as a strawberry farm, and we had pigs and cows and everything imaginable. My parents wanted us to have that agricultural experience. They were both school teachers, and we did that growing up, and it was kind of fun. And then we realized how much work it was with strawberries. So my brothers and sisters and I all had lots of extracurricular activities. So after school we'd stay late to play sports, and then over the years we all went away to university, and then I came back to help my parents set up a new season, which we called haunting season.
Yes.
And that festival started out as friends and family, just a small little haunt, small little hayride, and then now we have 6 haunts and 280 staff, and it's become this beast.
So when you talk about the haunts, Angela, maybe tell me, you extend beyond the farm itself, right?
Yeah.
During your different seasons.
Yes, we do now. So we have an off-farm event down at Lansdowne Park called the Sawmill. So we had been hearing from people who maybe don't have a car. A lot of university students wanted to come out, didn't have a way to get out here because we're not, unfortunately, on public transportation unless you work for the downtown, and so there's one bus in the morning and one bus back at the end of the day, but that doesn't work for coming out to haunting season.
No, fair enough, but that is good to know. I didn't realize that. Okay.
So we started up in partnership with Ottawa Sports and Entertainment Group, the Sawmill on the grounds of Lansdowne, and so it's a taste of what Saunders Farm haunting season is, but right in the center of the city.
Beautiful.
It's been so much fun.
So it gives them the taste to make them want to get on some kind of an arrangement to come out and actually see the farm in its magnitude.
Exactly.
All right. So COVID hits, because yes, we're still talking about it. And part of how LaFLovesLocal evolved was to talk to business owners like yourself who were so significantly impacted by the shutdown of the entire world. What was the turning point for you? How did you grind your way through that and survive it?
Well, the whole farm has been bootstrapped from day one. We planted 180,000 trees over the course of 40 years here. The place was abandoned when we moved here. There was a joke with my parents. Tom Cavanaugh Construction lived down the way.
Yes.
Tom McKay lived down the street. And he said as a housewarming gift, he was going to give my parents, just bulldoze the house down so they could build a new one because it was a mess. But my parents said, no, we're going to make it work. We're going to fix it up bit by bit. And we did. And so that's what we did with the farm over the years. So that's in our DNA, figuring it out. And that's what we did. We started, as soon as we got shut down, we knew the community was hurting too. They needed something to do. We knew we had all this space. So we said, what can we do within the rules and safety and regulations to give people hope a little bit and an opportunity. So we started campfires, and that was people could from the city. So it's funny because the people from the countryside said, "Why would you do that? Why don't you just go to your backyard?" Like, hey, most people don't have backyards, and so people came out here. They had a campfire. They can get some food, and they could just be. And it was it was medicine. It was really amazing. Yeah.
And total magic, because we've always wanted to be that place that allows connection with friends, with family. So that was able to happen. And then at the same time too, we had you remember when all the grocery stores had empty shelves?
Yes.
So at the same
toilet paper anywhere.
I know. Not so. And everybody picked up bread making, and there was no flour, and there was no yeast, and there was all of this. So at the same time, our restaurant supply company had a proliferation of goods because all the restaurants were closed.
Of course.
So within the space of about 3 weeks, we ended up creating a drive-through grocery store.
Brilliant.
So people could put together their order, they would drive out, we'd fill their trunk, they'd leave.
And tell them the special
So we would
bits.
always add the Saunders Farm special magic touch. So there would be a card, and we'd add in a recipe card for a couple of great recipes that you could do when you're housebound. And then the other thing we did was your order was lovingly packed by, and there would be a picture of like the chainsaw guy or the pumpkin princess or whatever.
Right, of
so
course.
we just tried to remind people that even though it was like the most desperate of times, let's still laugh, let's still find joy, let's still hang on to, like Mark said, hope for what's about to come.
These are the nuggets that I live for with these videos, because it brings home to all of us that there's so much more about all of this than the almighty dollar, right?
100%.
And how are you making a difference? So now you pivoted, which is what a good business does. And you pivoted, and then you're into weddings. You do that, which is what a beautiful setting for that. And then you had this idea of creating a country Christmas. Tell me about that, because you took this facility, which was magnificent, and went, okay, now we're going to turn it into a winter wonderland.
So we had, our regular Fright Fest and pumpkin season were closed down, and they were much small, or very much smaller than they normally would have been. So like 200 to 400 people a day spread out, and we could do that in during COVID, but it was still not paying the bills to keep this place up, and we had managers and key staff that we didn't want to lay off. So we said we need new things to do to keep busy. So we said, and so years ago, when we were planting all these trees, we had a tree nursery in between strawberries and haunting season, and we had cut your own Christmas trees. And so they had all grown up out of the way, and some of these probably were the Christmas trees that we didn't sell around us. So then we said, well, why don't we go back to doing Christmas? And our team's like, yes, I've always wanted to do that. So then, our operations guy was driving tractors, and Angela was in the kitchen making food, and like we all did all the jobs necessary to make it work in year one. And it was an absolute joy. Like some of my favorite times in all of our years of business was during those times when we were all getting together and figuring it out.
And it's crazy that it's such a natural transition for you. It's interesting that it would have taken that many years for it to evolve into what it has evolved into.
Here's a business lesson about your resources. So we had all these resources in October, but they were spent on October 31st. We were tired.
Of course
we were done,
you were.
and it was the same people doing the same work. And so we just didn't feel we had the capacity, even though it'd be a great idea, to really do it well and do it right. And so we pushed it off, and then COVID nudged us right off the cliff and said, we're doing it, let's do it. So we did.
Well,
and then from there, we just figured out how to keep making it work.
And how serendipitous, they say there are no coincidences. As many of my loyal followers know, we do an annual Christmas event, and your first Saunders Christmas we were part of that. And we're now about to launch our third party, and it's growing every year. Although Mother Nature wasn't very kind to us last year, but this year we're looking great. You're telling me, Angela, that you've got some new things in store for this year, some new activities. Tell me a little bit about that. I'm excited to hear this.
We are so excited about it, Mark. Like, we are so excited. So we've been working really hard in our off season, trying to figure out how can we make that, again, that Saunders Farm experience that we've been really proud of and is really integral to who we are.
Yes.
How do we really have that weave through everything we're doing, especially with this new season that we're doing called A Country Christmas at Saunders Farm. So we've really created a beautiful area just as guests come into the farm that's called the Town Square. And that started because of COVID, because we needed to, people couldn't be indoors. That was where we could mingle. But we thought, what if we put amazing activities all around it so that are interactive, that add to that magic?
We saw a little sampling of it last year, but it didn't quite take off. So
That's
I'm
right.
happy to hear that this is going to take place now.
Yeah, so we're so thrilled. So we've got our elf squad that will help make this all happen. We have the North Pole Post Office.
Okay.
So you can write a letter to Santa Claus. And if you are not great at writing, we've got a little template you can follow, and that's fine. And we'll make sure Santa gets every single letter. And the elves will get to work right away, making sure your little Christmas wishes come true. And we even have a giant mailbox with a staircase for the little tykes to be able to reach up into.
Well
So it's
thought out.
pretty magic.
Nicely done.
We have Mrs. Claus's cookie class. So we've
Okay.
got gingerbread cookies ready for all the little tykes with icing and decorations, and they can make that happen. We've got Deck the Halls ornament workshop, so you can decorate your own wooden ornament to put on your tree.
We saw that last year at our
That's
event.
right. Now it's moved into new quarters.
Okay.
It's bigger. And we have Rudolph and Company, purveyors of fine reindeer food. And you can mix up your own special mix.
As long as they stay out of the cider house.
Yes, exactly. For Santa's, all of his reindeer squad, so they're well fed on Christmas Eve, because that's a big night.
It's a big night.
They need the energy. They absolutely do. And then the other big thing we've added this year, which Angela's very excited about.
We have a bear factory. We have a bear factory. So if your kids or you, it's not always kids that want the stuffies.
I know, I tell people.
I know.
Well, we don't have the kids this year, so I'm like, what are you got to be a kid to come here?
Exactly.
No.
So we've got fantastic stuffies that you can stuff yourself and choose a perfect outfit for.
Like the Build-A-Bear.
It's like Build-A-Bear, but it's our own little
Your
bear
own
factory.
version of it. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So lots to do.
Wow.
Lots of fun. We also have the Elf Academy. Our elves are going to be all around. Our elves will teach kids how to be the best elf they can be. And it's going to be magical. We have a new puppet show also.
Okay.
Called Maisie Gets Her Star. So Maisie is our little seedling tree
Yes.
puppet that's in all of our puppet shows at the farm. And this year, she finds her special light of kindness and love, and that becomes her Christmas star.
Love and light.
Yeah. It's going to be beautiful.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
So then the park itself closes around 4:30 or something like that,
Yes.
and you flip.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what you flipped to, because the first year we were here, people drove through, and then you changed it last year, and people walked through, and I got to tell you, that was really impactful.
It's magical.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We call it the Holiday Light Stroll.
Yes.
And it's about a kilometer of walking through some woods.
Don't
and,
tell
and
people
back
that.
and
They're not gonna
forth.
wanna walk
Okay.
that
No,
far.
it's not a
no.
kilometer.
Okay, it's less than that, much less than that. But it's really, you're going back and forth through these beautiful forests and trees and everything else. And it's, we wanted to create a space where that, and as Angela said, that connection. So you get out of your car and you hold hands and you walk through and you just have a really beautiful time together. You could warm up by bonfires all around the site. But this light, this year, the light stroll takes you to the giant Christmas tree, which is a beautiful 20-foot tree that we have as the centerpiece of our new holiday light stroll.
Lit up, decorated, the
everything
whole
else, yeah.
thing.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
You guys, I will say this, no stone has been left unturned, if you will. You've thought of everything. It's your own little Disney in the Ottawa region. Again, it's such an honor for myself and my team to be able to share this special site with you. Folks, what a treat to have Mark and Angela. I encourage you to come and see the Country Christmas And thank you for your time.
Oh,
I know
thank
how
you very
busy
much.
this time of year is for you.
Oh, we thought you were just coming here to help us get ready.
I'm happy to. I'm happy
No,
to.
we
help
thank you very
get
much.
ready.
We're thrilled and delighted, and we can't wait for you and all of your friends to
We've
come
got a
this
special
weekend.
event coming this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, my goal has been to hit the 500 people mark. That's been my goal for
amazing.
3 years.
Yeah.
And
This might be the
might be
year.
the year.
it
Might
would
be the year.
it would be great. But thank you so
Okay,
much
thank you
to
very
both
much.
of you. Really.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you, friends.
You.